if you're using credit cards and telling yourself, I pay them off every month, so I'm fine, there's a very good chance that you're still losing money. And that's not to interest or even to late fees, but something that's a lot harder to see. And the worst part is most people don't realize it until years later when it's already cost them way more than they think. I know this because I fell into the exact same trap. Before we get into this video, if you do enjoy the content, please remember to like, subscribe, and watch the video in its entirety. So, when I first got out of college, I got a credit card. I did what everybody tells you to do. I did one card, I didn't have an annual fee, and I was just trying to build credit. That part was fine. Fast forward about 3 years or so, I never carried a balance, never paid interest, never missed a payment, still to this day. But somehow, I looked back earlier this year and I have 5 credit cards, different rewards, different categories, different just things trying to quote unquote optimize. And on paper, I was doing everything right, but something still felt off. What started happening is that I would buy something and think, well, yeah, I'll get this paid off next week. I get paid next week, so it's fine. I'll just pay it off then. Or it's fine. I'm getting points back. So even if I'm spending a little bit more, I wasn't being reckless, wasn't being irresponsible, which is true, but I was spending future money and trying to justify it emotionally instead of financially. And that's the problem that a lot of people don't see. And like I said, the same trap I was falling into. This isn't just anecdotal, by the way. Multiple studies show that people spend anywhere from 12 to 18% more money when paying with credit cards compared to cash or debit, even when they pay the balance in full. Not because they're bad with money, but because credit separates spending from pain. You don't feel it immediately, so you spend more. That effect hits responsible people too. At one point, I actually sat down and I looked at my setup. Between the annual fees I have, the credits I had to remember, the different categories I had to hit with which card, I was paying around $1,500 a year just to participate in the system with all the annual fees. And I had to actively work to break even. And that's really just when it clicked for me. If you have to think this hard to win, you're probably not winning that hard. So let me say this clearly. If you're a true credit card optimizer, you never carry a balance, you track everything, and you genuinely feel like you are coming out ahead, this video probably is not for you. But most people aren't that person, and pretending you are can be very expensive. Now, I haven't even said this yet, but it needs to be said. If you have credit card debt, you need to extinguish it immediately. I'm not anti-credit card, but if you can't handle access to the bank's money, they will punish you with 25+% interest forever. No rewards program offsets that. None. Here's the part that really changed how I think about this. Let's say credit cards cause you to overspend by $300 a month. So maybe you're just reducing your savings. You're not overspending. You're still paying off the balance. That doesn't feel dramatic. It doesn't even really feel that irresponsible. But $300 a month invested from your 20s to your 60s at an average return, that's over $1 million. Not because of debt, not because of mistakes, but because of small decisions that didn't hurt that much at the time. That's the real cost. And maybe you're watching this thinking, yeah, well, I'm disciplined though. That's exactly what I thought too. The trap is not carrying a balance. I can't reiterate that enough. The trap is justifying spending with money you don't have yet. Credit cards don't make people irresponsible. They make irresponsible people less precise. So I changed my setup. I got tired of going to the next month's budget and having to pay off previous month's spending. Again, I keep saying this, not having a balance, just paying off stuff from even a couple weeks ago. So I didn't do anything dramatic. I didn't cut everything up. I simplified. I went down to 2 credit cards. One 0 annual fee simple cash back, and one smaller annual fee travel card because I do like to travel and I like the rewards and the insurance I get. That's it. And I changed how I use it too. So there are 4 particular things I use my credit card now that I think help minimize overspending and still maximizing your credit. So one is subscriptions. They're visible on a credit card. They're very easy to track, and they do keep the card active even if I don't use the card on anything else for a month. 2, online purchases that are non-Amazon. Credit card fraud is widespread, and fraud protection is a lot easier with a credit card, and it's their money, not mine, if it gets stolen. So they're much more active to get it back. I've seen what happens with debit card fraud, and personal friends of mine have lost thousands of dollars for months at a time until the bank finally gets them their money back. That just does not happen with credit cards. 3, I touched on this earlier, but large purchases like travel, when you're booking a $5,000 trip at 2 to 5% back, that's actually some decent money. And plus, I want the travel protections from the card. And then 4, this one's kind of a catch-all, I guess I would say, but really anywhere that my card leaves my site. So restaurants, bars, tabs, I want a buffer between fraud and my bank account, and anywhere where I'm not holding onto my card, I like to give a credit card just because I've seen a lot of scenarios where bartenders or waiters have written down credit card information and committed fraud that way. So that was really the rule set that kind of changed everything for me. Everything else, and really over 90% of my spending, goes on my debit card. Money leaves immediately, it hits my budget immediately, no future income justification, no surprises. And that one change did way more for my budget than any reward system ever did. I'm not telling you to never use credit cards. I am telling you that they're one of the biggest silent detractors on the path to financial freedom, even if you never pay interest. Use them intentionally, use them for protection, but don't let them convince you to spend money that you don't actually have yet. That's how you stay in control, and that's how you keep winning. If you do enjoy this video, again, please like it, subscribe. I really appreciate your time.